So this week, Good Friday, and was it a good fish day? First fish and chips review, George's tradition. So if you stick around, you'll see exactly how I rated it. So as we do every week, the unboxing, and just to clarify, first of all, Good Friday being for Christians, fair dues. I know there's obviously every other religion that lives in this country, fair enough. But for Christians, Good Friday considered day of fasting and abstinence. This is done to remember Jesus' sacrifice, obviously on the cross, obviously in hot cross buns, etc., over Easter. Now, people have chosen over the years to eat fish on a Friday instead of meat to tie in with that same principle. So I thought, since it is Good Friday, albeit I didn't actually have the fish on the Good Friday because I just couldn't think of anything to review. And then suddenly Saturday, I thought, you know what, I've not had fish and chips before, or more to the point, fish. So the fish and chips was Saturday, but hence why the video's on Sunday, apology. So first fish and chips I've done as well with peas. I thought, let's just try it. Good Friday meal, as it were, sort of. And as you can see there, small cod chips and peas. £14.50. Now, on their website, it is actually £10.50, I think, with the same. So, I mean, you know, I don't know where the £4 comes from, but okay, £4 extra for being through Deliveroo, which the prices do not seem to be going down at all. But that's another matter. So you can see obviously each piece there. And again, this isn't a massive review. There's not a lot of items, chips, fish, as you can see there, and peas. But it's the first fish, chips and peas, or more to the point, fish supper, as a lot of people call it, that I've reviewed. Now, George's has been around for a long time. If you go on their website, there's a few links on the description. You can go through, although their website is quite, I'm not saying limited, but there's not a lot of information. A bit like a Nando's or a McDonald's. The website's not kind of padded out too well. It's more of a, I think it's actually under Apps for Food or something, a company that does websites. So have a look at theirs. You can obviously see what else is on offer. But mainly it's just meals, and obviously then you've got the sides. So to start with, the fries obviously being part of the meal. They were pretty much chip shop fries, a little bit on the greasy side, I would say. I think George's have always been a little bit greasy. I don't mind that. I think it's a nice kind of texture, flavour, whatever you want to call it, albeit destroys your fingers in terms of chips. So they were good chips. They were cooked perfectly well, not overdone, not underdone, no hard chips at all. So they're soft in the middle, fluffy in the middle. And if they weren't quite as greasy, would definitely have a crisp outer coating to them. So they were good fries, I would say, but just the grease on them is a little bit much. Maybe needs to drain a little bit longer. However, onto the mushy peas, and a lot of people hate mushy peas. I think they're, honestly, for a side, one of the nicest sides you can have. Now, I'm not going to say what most people refer to them as, but say like in Nottingham, Goose Fair, obviously mushy peas, mint sauce. I think that's just, it's so nice. Like compared to standard peas as opposed to mushy peas, George's mushy peas were a little bit on the mushier side, not quite as chunky peas, but they were decent peas. No mint sauce that I had with it. I don't think there was any on the Deliveroo website. As you can see, they're advertised every week versus reality. Wasn't a million miles off, although the fish did look a little bit sort of thicker, chunkier fish. Now, the only problem with this fish is the batter is, you can see there, it's not quite done enough. Enough to cook the fish and enough to cook the kind of very outer part of the batter, but the inner batter was, I would say, undercooked. I'm pretty sure. You know, it's essentially, if you think of a pancake mix, you know, it's not a million miles off that, but it wasn't fully cooked. It could have done with being a little bit longer in the fryer, I think, and then drained a bit longer. However, I had cod as opposed to haddock, just a little bit cheaper on the meal. cod never has that much of a flavour to it, but with the kind of extra grease, which is kind of ironic, but with the extra grease, it did actually have quite a nice flavour to it. The fish was cooked perfectly, not kind of firm to the point where it was going dry. It was really good fish, but the batter, albeit nice kind of colour into it, and the flavour of the batter was acceptable. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't spiced with anything. So it was a good batter. Could just do with being maybe cooked just a little bit longer. And then on top of all of that, you've got the fish that sits, as you can see there, sticks to everything. And obviously the batter then peels off. But all in all, I would say for the first fish and chips that I've done, and I will do a few more, especially not non-branded or non-franchised, more to the point, see how they compare. It was a good fish, and obviously just to show you kind of the end piece of the fish as well. I don't think it was a bad fish and chips. The problem that I've got with it is, as every week seems to be, and more so, £14.50. And as I say, I'm pretty sure it's £10 something on their website or in store, in shop, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know where that's come from. I think that's a bit of a rip-off, to say the least. And one thing I didn't do, which I should have done, is kind of add a mixture of chips, fish and peas. But to have the fish and peas together, I think is a really good combination. I had salt and vinegar on them as well, which I didn't say. And just to finish off the last chip there, it was a pretty good meal, just a little bit on the greasy side. So as with Good Friday, as I say, eating fish instead of anything else. The ratings that I'm going to give, not brilliant. 7.5 for the fish, 8 for the chips, and 8.5 for the peas. I appreciate everybody's watching. Hope everybody's a good Easter weekend. And if you haven't, check out these videos.